Do you mind giving me now 1-2 there, Tony, if you don't mind?
Yeah, 1, 2, 1, 2.
Jeez, ooh, you're peaking. You've got quite a performer's voice right there. Joining me now over the phone is no stranger to the Very Irish playlist. He is 1/3 of the indie rock band from Cork. It's Tony from the Burma. How are you, sir?
I'm all good, Adam. How are you? Thanks for having me on.
My pleasure, my dude. As we were saying, you have a hard out in the next 15 minutes, so we'll make this as brief as possible before you have to go in for the out. Is it a big thing, Tony, or what is it?
No, just a check-up. You have to look after them, Keep on top
Dead
of it.
right. You're after setting such an alarm bell in my head, like, I should definitely get them checked. I feel like I've been pushing what's acceptable in tooth care lately.
One thing my mother insists I spend my money on.
Do you know what? She's dead right. Yeah, like, if there's anything to spend your money on, it has to be your teeth.
Looking after your teeth.
Exactly. I'd say they're sparkling, are they? I'd say they're in fine condition. You're going to go in there and they're going to be like, you need nothing, sir, please. Go home, enjoy your life with your perfect teeth. Take us through it, Tony. This is a three-piece in the indie rock band. We'll get into your sound and how you found it, but tell us about how you formed as a three-piece.
So myself and Pete, our guitar player, we're both from the same town, Cove and Cork, and we're playing in bands kind of since we were 16 together, really. And we ended up doing a music course then after secondary school, and we met Cian, our drummer. So Cian's from Doolin and Clare, and we all kind of met then around that scene. We were kind of in college for a few years there together. We got together then, around 2016, I think, around then. Yeah, the three of us as the Burma.
Well, I have to say, like, if we can then talk about your sound, because it kind of blows me away. Your release of Sugar Moonlight, the album you brought out, or the EP you brought out in April of 2020, the 5-track album, I had to listen to it. And first off, I adore Same Again. I love all the tracks, but Same Again has a special place in my heart. And I can't get over this. In such a short space of time, I would consider your sound, personally, a kind of like glam indie rock. I don't know what it is. You're very synth heavy in songs and your production and how you deliver. And I think it's absolutely brilliant, your sound. But to me, that's a sound that is found after years of being together, and it just seems like you found this identity. Are you all on the same page, or is there one big driving force behind you?
Yeah, I mean, that took a long time, right, to get. I suppose myself and Peter were playing in bands since we're teenagers, like, and we would have been playing original music and stuff.
Fair enough.
So, I mean, I think we only kind of really nailed our sound as such coming up to that EP. We struck on something coming up to that EP when we were writing songs. We were like, kind of a light bulb went off,
Yeah.
And but that was years of struggle beforehand. All right, yeah, definitely. Just kind of, we'd write one song, and the next song could be a million miles apart, like in kind of genre. And we could write a funk song, and the next thing we'd be writing, I don't know, a bloody nearly heavy metal song or something.
Yeah,
we couldn't keep it in between the lines. But I think coming up to that EP, I think just over years it naturally happens, and we were lucky enough that it did coming up to that EP. I think we definitely found the sound all right.
Well, that's fair enough. I mean, let's say there was another band kind of starting out right now, because I do hear this kind of repetitive thing of people being like, we kind of played everything before we really find our sound. Would you recommend that to someone who is just starting out in music, or do you think, like, before they release, say, their first song officially on Spotify and all that kind of stuff, not that that's something you can't turn away from or turn back from, but like, would you recommend just saying, like, look, explore, experiment, find your sound, or would you say find a good, solid sound to begin with? No, totally. Just record stuff, release stuff. It's not going to happen straight away. Like, there's one in a million. Like, you might find the sound the first song you write, like, and that's your sound then, like, But I think if I was a band starting out, I just keep writing songs, keep finishing songs. Just do it. Finish the songs you like, and eventually you'll develop a sound. I wouldn't not release something just because you think you haven't found your sound. We put out EPs with different bands over the years and stuff. Put them out online. You can always take them back down. You know what I mean? You have control over it. Exactly. Yeah.
So no, I'd say horse into it, and eventually something will happen. the light bulb will go off.
Exactly. Now, I will say, you said probably the biggest word there, and you said it a couple of times, and I think it's so important, is finishing the work. I mean, you yourself, you probably know many artists in the same industry, and I know that I've heard of a few as well, who start works and there's a lot of ambition and there's a lot of momentum behind them, but they never actually finish it. And then they end up sitting on it, and then they kind of move to different projects because sometimes it's more fun to be in the writing process than the recording production end of things. But I think you said it best, is actually following it through and finishing it and getting it out there then. Well, look, I mean, it sounds like, to me anyway, as the VIP listeners know, like, I'm a huge fan of the Burma. I love your music. Don't Believe Your Dreams and Sleepers. We play them constantly. Such good sound. Such a good track to represent you, the two tracks. And so going forward then as the Burma, I mean, we're in Tullamore here in the Midlands in County West Meath. You lads are in Cork. Where are you around that we might be able to catch you?
Our next gig is all together now in Waterford next week, the bank holiday weekend. But then we're going on a tour. So we'll be releasing our debut album in September, and then we have a tour booked for October. So we'll be playing the likes of Whelan's now in Dublin, Spirit Store, Dundalk, some here in Cork. We're in Limerick with Paddy Casey at some stage. So we'll have plenty of dates coming up in October for the album tour. That's Brilliant. Coming out in September.
Oh, that is. Oh, well, now I'm very excited about this debut album. And look, I know you're probably under strict don't say anything, anything like that. But can you, is there anything you can tell us about the debut album? How are you feeling going towards it? How is the sound for it? How long did it take to get to this point? Anything at all?
Yeah, I just can't wait to get it out there now. I suppose we've been sitting on it for the last few years. We recorded it in lockdown. We started recording it in 2020. So we've been sitting with the songs a long time. And there's some songs on it that we wrote way back when we first started, 2015, 2016.
Oh, right.
So a couple now, we've already booked studio time for album number 2. We're in our heads, we're on the next one already. And it's mad to think that the people haven't even heard these songs yet. So we can't wait to put it out. It's just actually for other people to hear them, because it's just been us for the last 3 years. So now looking forward to putting it out there now and getting people's reaction and gigging them in October. But in our own heads, we're already on the next batch of songs, I think.
That is brilliant. And look, as you say, you're doing the right thing. You're bringing out the album, and then you're going around bringing your music everywhere to either introduce yourself or solidify yourself in people's minds as definitely a band to watch, because you most certainly are. The Burma, for me, are up there, and nothing but the best of luck with it all. Where can we find you, Tony? Where can we get all this delicious information?
Oh, the usuals. We're the Burma Music mainly on everything across the internet. We're on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Give us a follow. We're looking for more subscribers on YouTube at the moment, actually. So if you're to do one thing, maybe subscribe to us on YouTube. Find us. We just put out the music video for Sleepers, so maybe check that out and give us an old subscribe.
Definitely. Oh, I'll go over there right now. I'll be sharing it and plugging it and everything. Look, Tony, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us, and nothing but the absolute best for the tour and the album. I cannot state how excited I am to hear it. Thanks so much for taking the time, man.
Thanks a million, Adam. We really appreciate it. Cheers. Thanks for the support.